All India Radio presents Morning News. Good morning. I am Sarabjit Kaur and with me is Saira Mujtaba. The headlines. First time MLA Bhupendra Patel to be sworn in as new Chief Minister of Gujarat this afternoon. 6 states and union territories administer first dose of COVID vaccine to their entire eligible population. India's vaccination coverage crosses 74 crore mark. CBI arrests 11 people in connection with post-poll violence in West Bengal. IMD forecasts heavy rain in several parts of Maharashtra, including Mumbai, during the next 3 days. Red alert for heavy rain issued in 7 districts of Orissa for today. Indian Coast Guard rescues 11 fishermen near Sagar Island in Bay of Bengal. Iran agrees to allow international inspectors to install new memory cards into surveillance cameras at its nuclear sites. And in US Open tennis, Daniil Medvedev stuns Novak Djokovic to win maiden Grand Slam title. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is going on, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011-2397-8046 and 1075. As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. To commemorate the occasion as a Janotsav, All India Radio News brings its listeners a special quiz on India's freedom movement and its glorious history. The quiz is being conducted every Monday and Tuesday in the morning news since 16th August and will continue till 15th August 2022. India Post has joined hands as the logistics partner with All India Radio News for the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. And coming to our 9th question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz in English, who started the Bardoli Satyagraha and in which year? Who started the Bardoli Satyagraha and in which year? Listeners can send their responses to the question over WhatsApp on 8826546262. I repeat, 8826546262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. One lucky participant will be selected as a winner and will be announced in tomorrow's morning news. The winner will be awarded an e-certificate and a token prize.
And now the news in detail. Gatalodia BJP MLA Bhupendra Patel will be sworn in as new Chief Minister of Gujarat today. State Governor Acharya Devvrat will administer him the oath of office and secrecy at Raj Bhavan in Gandhinagar at 2:20 p.m. 59-year-old first-time MLA Patel was unanimously elected leader of BJP Legislature Party yesterday. He met the governor in the evening and staked the claim to form a new government in the state after the resignation of Vijay Rupani as Chief Minister of Gujarat. Union Home Minister Amit Shah and Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Shivraj Singh Chauhan will be attending the oath ceremony, among others. Mr. Patel has previously served as President of Memnagar Municipality in Ahmedabad and the Standing Committee Chairman of Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation and Ahmedabad Urban Development Authority. He won the 2017 Gujarat Assembly elections from Gatalodia constituency, defeating Congress candidate Shashi Kant Patel by a margin of 1,17,000 votes. Bhupendra Patel's daughter-in-law Devanshi Patel said that the news has taken the family by surprise as it was completely unexpected. Union Home Minister Amit Shah congratulated Mr. Patel and said he will infuse new energy and momentum into the state's development journey. More details from our Ahmedabad correspondent.
59 years old Bhupendra Patel will be the 17th Chief Minister of Gujarat. He will succeed the outgoing Chief Minister Vijay Rupani, who resigned from the post on Saturday. Mr. Patel became the MLA from the Ghatrodia seat of Ahmedabad city in 2017. Mr. Bhupendra Patel is believed to be close to Anandiben Patel, Governor of Uttar Pradesh and former Chief Minister of Gujarat. After his election as the leader of BJP Legislative Party, BJP workers and fans and family members started celebrations. Talking to media persons, Mr. Patel expressed his thanks to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, Union Minister Amit Shah and BJP President J.P. Nadda. He said that he will carry forward the development works of the government. Yogesh Pandya, AIR News, Ahmedabad.
A total of 6 states and union territories in the country have achieved the feat of administering the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine to 100% of their eligible population. These are Dadar and Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu, Goa, Himachal Pradesh, Ladakh, Lakshadweep and Sikkim. Health Minister Mansukh Mandavia has congratulated these states and union territories for administering the first dose to 100% of the adult population. Himachal Pradesh has administered 55.74 lakh vaccine doses as the first dose. Dadra, Nagar Haveli and Daman and Diu have given 6.26 lakh vaccine doses. Ladakh administered 1.97 lakh doses. Lakshadweep has given 53,499 doses and Sikkim administered 5.1 lakh doses as the first dose to its eligible population. Mr. Mandavia appreciated the health workers in these regions for their diligence and commitment.
India's cumulative COVID-19 vaccination coverage has crossed the 74 crore mark. The Union Health Ministry has termed it as yet another achievement in its fight against COVID-19. The Health Ministry said over 28,000 new cases of COVID-19 were reported yesterday. The ministry said over 34,000 people recovered from the infection during the same period, taking the total recoveries to more than 3 crore 24 lakh. The recovery rate currently stands at 97.51%. In the national capital, 22 fresh cases of coronavirus infection were reported yesterday. The Delhi government said 44 people recovered from the infection in the same period and no death was reported in the city. Presently, the total number of active cases of COVID-19 in the national capital is 390. More than 130,000 beneficiaries were inoculated with doses of COVID-19 vaccine in the last 24 hours in Delhi. With this, over 1 crore 49 lakh beneficiaries have been vaccinated so far.
The Central Bureau of Investigation has arrested 11 people in connection with post-poll violence and other offences in West Bengal. While 7 people were arrested yesterday, 4 were nabbed on Saturday. The Calcutta High Court had last month directed the CBI to investigate the post-poll violence cases. Till now, CBI has filed 34 FIRs in connection with murders and heinous crimes that took place after the announcement of assembly election results in the state. The probe agency has filed 4 charge sheets in different courts in connection with the incidents that took place in Nolhati and Rampurhat in Birbhum district and Bhatpara in North 24 Parganas. National Human Rights Commission had earlier probed the violence that took place after Trinamool Congress's victory in West Bengal and recommended a court-monitored CBI probe. West Bengal was hit by violence after assembly election results were announced on 2nd of May 2021. It was alleged that Mamata Banerjee's Trinamool Congress supporters indulged in violence against BJP workers at several locations in the state. The centre has decided to set up 7 new Eklavya Vidyalayas in Assam. Assam Chief Minister Hemant Biswa Sarma said this in a tweet after a meeting with Union Tribal Affairs Minister Arjun Munda in Guwahati yesterday. The Ministry of Tribal Affairs would also set up 400 Van Dhan Vikas Kendra to promote tribal art and craft as well as to provide livelihood opportunities to the tribal population. Both leaders also discussed setting up of 5 tribal food parks in the state. Mr. Munda also presented the Van Dhan Award 2020-21 to Chief Minister Hemant Biswa Sarma.
Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that his government has provided jobs to over 4.5 lakh youths in the last 4.5 years. He said the state government will soon roll out 90,000 more jobs. The Chief Minister inaugurated and laid the foundation stone of multiple development projects in Sant Kabir Nagar and Kushinagar districts yesterday. He said that the work on the international airport in Kushinagar is in the final stage and it will be inaugurated soon. This airport will connect this ancient Buddhist pilgrimage site to other Southeast Asian countries, thus boosting tourism in the region. The Chief Minister also criticized the previous governments of neglecting development works in the eastern part of the state. He said the mafia, who enjoyed the patronage of political leaders in the previous governments, have been eliminated under the present government. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal was yesterday re-elected as the national convener of Aam Aadmi Party. The party national executive unanimously elected him for the top post of the party. Along with Mr. Kejriwal, Pankaj Gupta was again elected as the national secretary and N.D. Gupta as the national treasurer.
You're listening to the morning news on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. First-time MLA Bhupendra Patel to be sworn in as new Chief Minister of Gujarat this afternoon. 6 states and union territories administer first dose of COVID vaccine to their entire eligible population. India's vaccination coverage crosses 74 crore mark. CBI arrests 11 people in connection with post-poll violence in West Bengal. IMD forecasts heavy rain in several parts of Maharashtra, including Mumbai, during the next 3 days. Red alert for heavy rain issued in 7 districts of Orissa for today. Indian Coast Guard rescues 11 fishermen near Sagar Island in Bay of Bengal. Iran agrees to allow international inspectors to install new memory cards into surveillance cameras at their nuclear sites. And in US Open tennis, Daniil Medvedev stuns Novak Djokovic to win maiden Grand Slam title. For quick news updates round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has exhorted the para-athletes to identify and work in few areas outside sports to motivate people and help bring change in the country in this period of celebration of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. The Prime Minister has shared the video of his interaction with the Indian Paralympic contingent on a breakfast at his residence last week.
कि आजादी के 75 साल हैं और 2023 15 अगस्त तक हम इसको मनाने वाले हैं और 24 में आपको पेरिस जाना है। तो एक प्रकार से आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव ये पूरा कार्यकाल आप लोग देश को क्या दे सकते हैं, देश को कैसे मोटिवेट कर सकते हैं, आपके आसपास के लोगों को, स्कूल के लोगों को और बच्चों को और नौजवानों को कुछ न कुछ संकल्प कीजिए। इस आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव में मेरी खेल जगत के उपरांत अतिरिक्त मैं कोई एकांत जिम्मा लूं और मैं उसको पूरी तरह समय दूं, सप्ताह में 1 घंटा, महीने में 1 घंटा, जो भी अपनी सुविधा हो। लोग आपकी बात को, आपके व्यवहार को बहुत स्वीकार करें और देश में बदलाव लाने में बहुत बड़ी भूमिका अदा कर सकते हैं।
Mr. Modi said Paralympians have become celebrities due to their hard work and people will listen to them and accept their views, which can play a big role to bring change in the country. India had sent the highest ever contingent of 54 Divyang sportspersons across 9 disciplines in the recently concluded Tokyo Paralympics. The Indian Paralympians created history by winning 19 medals. The India Meteorological Department, IMD, has predicted heavy to very heavy rainfall during the next 3 days in Mumbai, Thane, Palghar and several other parts of Maharashtra. IMD has issued a yellow alert for Mumbai with a forecast of heavy rain at isolated places of the city for the next 2 days. The revival of rain has given some relief to parts of Maharashtra as the dams are overflowing and the water woes are over, but the alert has also increased the worries of the administration, especially in districts like Palghar, Raigad, Ratnagiri and Sindhudurg. A report.
Catchment area of Koyna Dam is receiving very heavy rain. Heavy downpour was witnessed in Satara district, including Mahabaleshwar yesterday. Water level of Koyna Dam has increased and warning has been issued to the villages on the banks of the rivers in the district. Nashik district also received very heavy rain and many dams are about to overflow in the district. Many other districts are witnessing heavy rainfall for past 2 days. The weather department has predicted extremely heavy to very heavy rain till September 15 under an orange alert for Palghar region. For Thane district, local officials have been told to remain prepared prepared for heavy showers till Wednesday. Raigad, Ratnagiri, Sindhudurg, Nashik, Pune, Sataraya and Kolhapur districts are expected to receive heavy showers at isolated places for the next 2 days. The weather department has also issued an yellow alert for Nagpur, Wardha, Bhandara, Gondia, Chandrapur, Gadchiroli, Amravati, Akola, Yavatmal, Buldhana and Washim till September 13th. With Kunal Shinde, Shailesh Patil, AIR News, Mumbai.
India Meteorological Department IMD has issued red alert in 7 districts, orange alert in 6 districts and yellow alert in 8 districts of Orissa for the next 24 hours due to heavy rains. IMD has predicted heavy to very heavy rains and flash floods in 2 districts. The Met Office has also confirmed that a depression has formed over northwest Bay of Bengal and adjoining Orissa coast. The state is experiencing heavy rains under its impact. More from our correspondent.
Even as the depression over the Bay of Bengal keeps moving west-northwestward, entire Odisha has come under the grief of varying spells of rainfall, ranging from extremely heavy downpour to day-long drizzle. True to the forecast, while 7 coastal districts, including Khordha and Cuttack, experienced heavy rainfall during the last 24 hours, today the turn of 5 western Odisha districts to bear the brunt of the depression-induced rainfall. While the incessant rainfall has caused local inundation at quite a few low-lying areas of the state, with waterlogging as a natural corollary, many rivers and their tributaries are swelling with additional runoff from the respective catchment areas. While the state government has kept a close watch on the emergent situation, the sky over the state may clear off in a couple of days with a gradual weakening of the depression. Girish Chandra Das, AIR News, Bhubaneswar.
Indian Coast Guard ICG has saved lives of 11 fishermen whose boat underwent an engine failure and was stuck in the Bay of Bengal near Sagar Island. ICG Kolkata headquarters said that due to sudden weather changes causing a swell in the seas, it began warning fishermen against venturing out to the seas. During this, the ICG ships at sea received information about a stranded fishing boat stuck at 35 nautical miles south of Sagar Island with 11 crew members on board. The boat was reported to have an engine failure and was adrift in the area. Realizing the emergency, Coast Guard immediately launched a multifarious swift rescue operation. The Coast Guard Dornier aircraft undertaking surveillance in the area was immediately diverted to locate the boat.
As our nation celebrates the 75th year of independence, a series of events are being organized by the government as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Let's listen now to our special program, Azadi Ka Safar.
Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav.
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a Nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day. Today we bring you the story of a hero from Bengal. It was on this day in 1929, this great son of India, Jatindra Nath Das, made the supreme sacrifice for the freedom of the country at a young age of 25 years. Fondly called Jatin Das, he challenged the might of the British in his own unique way. Jatin Das was born on 27th October 1904 at Calcutta.
The devoted freedom fighter joined the Anushilan Samiti in Bengal at a young age. Later on, he teamed up with Bhagat Singh and his comrades in the Hindustan Socialist Republic Association. Jatin Das also participated in the non-cooperation movement when he was 17 years old. He was a brilliant student but chose to dedicate his life to the freedom movement.
The revolutionary freedom fighter could not see his jailed countrymen subjected to deplorable conditions by the British. Determined to seek better treatment of the Indian prisoners, he went on to a 63-day-long hunger strike in Lahore jail, which ultimately cost his own life. His sacrifice had the desired impact in terms of the jail authorities agreeing to improve conditions for political prisoners. He was arrested by the British on June 14, 1929, in connection with the Lahore conspiracy case, which relates to the killing of the British police officer John Saunders by the revolutionaries.
Jatin Das suffered numerous hardships during his hunger strike. He was brutally beaten up, and efforts to force-feed him damaged his lungs. After his death, his body was taken to Bengal. In Calcutta, Subhash Chandra Bose received his coffin at the Howrah railway station. Over 7 lakh people attended Jatin Das's funeral procession in the city. Subhash Chandra Bose called him the young Dadichi of the nation, the ancient Indian sage who also sacrificed his life for noble cause.
It was on this day in 1948 the Operation Polo was launched by the Indian Army to integrate the Hyderabad state into the territory of India. By 1948, most of the princely states had acceded to India, but the state of Hyderabad had chosen to join neither Pakistan nor India. The then Indian Home Minister, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, requested the Nizam to join India, but he refused. The Nizam initially approached the British government with the proposal to designate Hyderabad as a constitutional monarchy within the Commonwealth of Nations. The proposal was rejected by the last Viceroy of India, Lord Louis Mountbatten.
For many years, the Nizam was facing popular resistance led by the Arya Samaj, the State People's Congress, under the leadership of Swami Ramanand Tirth, demanding the integration of Hyderabad with India. Under the Nizam, an exploitative agricultural structure had come to be established in Hyderabad. 40% of the land was either directly owned by the Nizam or given by him to the elites in the form of Jagirs, special tenures. By the 1940, a movement of resistance was taking shape among the peasants against the Nizam and his policies, and it reached its zenith by 1946.
On September 13, 1948, Indian forces entered the state at 4 a.m. under the Operation Polo. At 5 p.m. on 17 September 1948, the Nizam announced a ceasefire. Subsequently, he signed an instrument of accession joining India. That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in next episode tomorrow.
आजादी के आंदोलन के खजाने में ऐसे ढेरों शब्द जिन्होंने बदल दिए इतिहास, तारीख बदलने वाले लफ्जों पर आकाशवाणी समाचार ला रहा है विशेष कार्यक्रम धरोहर हर सोमवार।
In today's episode of Dharohar, we will bring you the speech of First President of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, delivered in the Constituent Assembly. Iran has agreed to allow international inspectors to install new memory cards into surveillance cameras at its sensitive nuclear sites and to continue filming there. This was announced by Mohammad Islami of the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran after a meeting he had with the Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, Rafael Grossi, in Tehran. Tehran holds all recordings at its sites as negotiations over the US and Iran returning to the 2015 nuclear deal remain stalled in Vienna. Meanwhile, Iran is now enriching small amounts of uranium to its closest ever levels to weapons-grade purity as its stockpile continues to grow. A joint statement released by the IAEA and Iran confirmed the understanding, saying only that the way and the timing are agreed by the two sides.
On to sports. Daniil Medvedev of Russia lifted his first Grand Slam trophy after beating Novak Djokovic 6-4, 6-4, 6-4 in the US Open men's singles final at the Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York last night. The second seed Medvedev ended Djokovic's bid for a calendar slam and a 21st major by dominating from start to finish. While Djokovic failed to become the third man after Dornbach and Rod Laver to sweep all four majors in the same year, Medvedev capped off a stellar US Open outing with a memorable win. Medvedev broke in the first game of the contest and from there he remained in control throughout. The Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports has announced free registration for the first 2 lakh school students for nationwide Fit India quiz. The ministry said that the first 2 lakh students nominated by 1 lakh schools can now be registered free for the quiz instead of participation fee of 225 rupees applicable earlier. Under it, every school can nominate maximum 2 students for free for the quiz on first-come, first-served basis.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. Jammu and Srinagar are expected to have partly cloudy sky. Leh and Gilgit will have a mainly clear sky. Muzaffarabad, the temperatures will hover between 22 and 37 degrees Celsius. The national capital Delhi will have a generally cloudy sky with light rain. Mumbai will have a generally cloudy sky with heavy rain. Kolkata, the minimum temperature was 25 degrees Celsius, maximum will be around 31 degrees. Chennai, the temperatures will vary between 28 and 35 degrees Celsius. Hyderabad is expected to have generally cloudy sky. Bengaluru again is expected to have generally cloudy sky. Guwahati, the minimum temperature was 26, maximum will be around 36 degrees.
And now an overview of today's newspapers. Most newspapers today lead with the change in guard in Gujarat. Bhupendra Patel to be next Gujarat CM, states Hindustan Times. The other story that hogs the limelight is that of Al-Qaeda leader Ayman al-Zawahiri. The Indian Express writes, Al-Zawahiri appears in 9/11 video, no mention of takeover by Taliban. Emphasizing the importance of COVID shots in preventing death rates, CDC cites 3 studies on role shots play in saving lives. Skip COVID jab, increase death risk by 10 times, headlines The Pioneer. All fully vaccinated, all ready to go. Safely and socially distanced, India Inc. gets to work as it designs return to office toolkit, informs the Business Standard. Spoiling customers for choice in the residential real estate sector. Housing supply and demand set to grow this festive season, states the Financial Express. And finally, pictures of a jubilant Emma Raducanu are not to be missed holding up the US Open Championship trophy after defeating Leila Fernandez of Canada.
Listeners, before we end the bulletin, a reminder of today's question of the Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Who started the Bardoli Satyagrah and in which year? Who started the Bardoli Satyagrah and in which year? WhatsApp your response on 88265 46262, 88265 46262 or through email on amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. I repeat, amritmahotsavquiz@prasarbharati.gov.in. Celebrate 75 years of India's independence by participating in Amrit Mahotsav quiz with AIR News. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. First time MLA Bhupendra Patel to be sworn in as new Chief Minister of Gujarat this afternoon. 6 states and union territories administer first dose of COVID vaccine to their entire eligible population. India's vaccination coverage crosses 74 crore mark. CBI arrests 11 people in connection with post-poll violence in West Bengal. IMD forecasts heavy rain in several parts of Maharashtra, including Mumbai, during next 3 days. Red alert for heavy rain issued in 7 districts of Orissa for today. Indian Coast Guard rescues 11 fishermen near Sagar Island in Bay of Bengal. Iran agrees to allow international inspectors to install new memory cards into surveillance cameras at its nuclear sites. And in US Open tennis, Daniil Medvedev stuns Novak Djokovic to win maiden Grand Slam title. And with that, we end the morning news. Have a nice day.